Hello, everybody. It's good to be back with you again this week. I have a question for you this morning. What are your favorite things to eat? I'm going to share some of my most favorite things that I eat almost every day. The first is an apple. Last week, Pastor Bob and Gus and I went to Skytop Orchard and picked apples. And from what I've seen on Facebook pages, I think some of you have been doing that as well. And it's so much fun to do. And these apples, there's nothing like a fresh apple. It's crisp, it's juicy, it's yum, 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 and so healthy for you. Another thing that I love is yogurt. I love to have yogurt for lunch almost every day. It's good for you, it's healthy, and it tastes good too. Then I have a bagel. Bagels are good. It's a type of bread, and I like to eat mine with butter and sometimes cheese melted on top. Yum! Now, those are not all my favorites. I love chicken, I love pasta. There are a lot of different things that I like, but obviously I couldn't show them all to you. But here's my secret. I love, and if you've been to my office, you know this. I love M&Ms. Yes, love chocolate, especially M&Ms, but I try not to eat too many because they give you a tummy ache, right? And they're not healthy. So that's my weakness. Well, this morning, our story is about people who were hungry. Can you think of a time when you were really hungry? Maybe you came home from school and forgot to have a snack, or maybe lunch was late for some reason, or dinner. How does that feel? I'll tell you another secret. When I get hungry, I get really cranky, really grumpy. You just ask Pastor Bob. I can get really grumpy. I do not like to be hungry. Well, last week we talked about God's people crossing through the Red Sea. Remember, God parted the waters? Well, this week we're talking about a time after that happened when they were wandering in the desert. And I actually got to go to the desert that they wandered in. And I'm telling you, it was nothing but sand and sand. I call them mountains, hills, and there's no way to know where you're going. And how would you get food? Think about that. If you're out in the desert where the sun is beating down during the day and at night it gets chilly, what would you do without food? Because I'm sure they packed some food, but their food ran out. So what do you think happened? They got hungry. Well, you can't grow anything, right, without water and soil, and all that was there was sand like at the beach. So let's see what happened. God loved the Israelites and their leader Moses. God promised to bring the people to a place where they could build homes and live happily ever after. They had never lived outside of Egypt before, and they were afraid. Have you ever been somewhere new, maybe like your first day at school, or to a new doctor, or to the dentist? It's scary, isn't it? Well, here we see Moses talking to the people, and you look at what they're doing. They're not very happy, and there's squiggles. They're moaning and groaning and crying, and why do we have to do this? So let's see what happened. But God went with them, just like God goes with you every day, wherever you are, whether you're at home or at school or at the doctor or a sports event. God is always with you. Traveling was hard and tiring. Along the way, the people became hungry. What do you do when you're hungry? You complain, right? Well, they complained to Moses, and there were a lot of people. This wasn't just like 4 people. This was a lot of people. I'm so hungry, they cried. I wish we could go back to Egypt, said someone. At least we had food to eat. Her stomach growled. That is not a good feeling, is it? The people miss their dinners of meat and bread. What do you have for dinner? Last night I made barbecue pork and rice and some beans. What did you have? The Israelites didn't know that God heard them complaining, but we know that today, don't we? We know God always hears our prayers, always. That evening, something strange happened. Tiny birds called quails appeared everywhere. God sent them so the people could eat meat. See? The next morning, the ground glistened with fresh dew. Even after the sun dried up the dew, there was still something covering the ground. It looked like bread had rained down from heaven. It was manna. The manna looked like tiny little seeds, probably like, poppy seeds or sesame seeds, tiny. And it tasted like bread. The people ate and ate. Every day, God sent manna and quail, so the people had food to eat. The Israelites kept traveling toward the place God promised. After a while, they ran out of water. Even though God had given them food when they were hungry, the people still complained. My mouth feels dry like a desert, sobbed a child. The people were thirsty. How do you feel when you're thirsty? You know, if I don't drink enough water, sometimes I even get a headache. I feel tired. Nothing like a nice cold glass of water, right? When you're thirsty in the middle of the summer. This time, God told Moses to hit a rock with his staff. When he did, water gushed out of the rock. See? You can see his staff, and we're squiggles right there. And over here, they show the manna, but they've got grass, and I think that's a little mistake because the desert doesn't have grass. Well, God gave food and water to the Israelites every day. God took care of the people just like he promised. See, God always, always, always keeps his promises. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And maybe I will see you later at worship services. Let's bow our heads and say a prayer. Dear God, we thank you for providing our every need, for feeding us when we're hungry, giving us water when we're thirsty, and most of all, for your Son, Jesus. Thank you for always keeping your promises. Amen. All right, I'll see you next time. Mwah!